Success doesn't have to be as hard as we often make it. Too many people believe that achieving their dreams requires endless struggle, exhaustion, and burnout. But what if there was another way? What if the key to success wasn't working harder, but working smarter by tapping into something already inside of you? Inside each of us is a unique power, a kind of inner genius that can guide us effortlessly toward the success we desire. The truth is, your mind is wired to succeed, but too often we overlook or underutilize this natural ability. When you understand how to connect with your inner genius, things start to flow more easily. You find that success comes not from force or exhaustion, but from aligning your actions with who you really are. In this book, we're going to explore how you can unlock your inner genius and use it to create the life you've always wanted. We'll dive into how your brain is naturally wired for success, how to discover your unique gifts, and how to leverage them for effortless progress. You'll learn how to shift from struggling to thriving, how to build the kind of confidence that makes success feel almost inevitable, and how to cultivate the energy and focus needed to make things happen with less effort. If you're tired of the hustle and are ready to create a life where success feels natural and almost effortless, this is for you. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to tap into your inner genius, step by step. It's time to stop forcing things and start flowing with the success that's already within you. The path to effortless success is simpler than you think, and I'm here to guide you on that journey. Chapter 1. What is your inner genius? Success isn't reserved for a special few. It's not something that only the lucky or the highly educated achieve. Every person has an inner genius, something unique that makes success feel natural. The problem is that most people never take the time to discover it. They follow the crowd, work hard at things they don't enjoy, and wonder why life feels like a constant uphill battle. The first step to effortless success is understanding what makes you different. Everyone has something they do better than most without even trying. Some people have a way with words. Others can see solutions where everyone else sees problems. Some connect with people easily, while others have a gift for analyzing data or creating new ideas. These strengths don't always show up in school or traditional jobs, but they exist in every person. Growing up, many people are taught to fit into a system rather than develop their natural talents. They follow rules, memorize facts, and try to meet expectations that may not align with who they really are. Over time, they stop noticing what they're naturally good at. They assume success only comes from working harder, getting more degrees, or following the same path as everyone else. This belief keeps them stuck in careers and situations that drain their energy instead of fueling it. Recognizing inner genius starts with paying attention to what comes easily. Think about the moments when time flies because you're so engaged in what you're doing. Think about the times when people ask for your advice or help because they see something in you that you may not even notice. These are signs of natural ability. When people ignore these signs and focus on areas where they struggle, they make life harder than it needs to be. Success feels effortless when people align with their strengths. This doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but when someone is doing what they are naturally built for, those challenges become opportunities instead of roadblocks. A person who enjoys problem solving sees obstacles as puzzles to figure out. Someone who thrives on creativity finds inspiration in the unexpected. The right path always feels more rewarding than forcing something that doesn't fit. Many people spend years trying to improve their weaknesses instead of maximizing their strengths. Schools and workplaces emphasize fixing what's wrong rather than building on what's already strong. If a student is great at writing but struggles with math, they spend extra time on math instead of becoming an exceptional writer. If an employee is a natural leader but struggles with spreadsheets, they are told to focus on improving their technical skills instead of leading people. This approach makes progress slow and frustrating. Instead of forcing skills that don't come naturally, the smarter approach is to refine and expand the ones that do. A person who is great at communicating should focus on improving that ability until they are exceptional. Someone with a talent for design should work on becoming an expert in their field. Those who are naturally analytical should develop strategies to use their skills in ways that create value. Mastery of a natural talent leads to greater success than struggling to be average at something that isn't a strength. Some of the most successful people in history became great because they focused on what they did best. They weren't trying to be good at everything. They found their strengths and used them fully. Athletes, artists, business leaders, and innovators didn't waste time on things that drained them. They refined their skills, put themselves in the right environment, and allowed their genius to shine. Recognizing natural talent is one part of the equation. The next step is creating an environment where it can thrive. A person who is meant to be an entrepreneur will struggle in a rigid corporate structure. Someone who loves numbers and logic may not be happy in a job that requires constant social interaction. The wrong environment forces people to work against their natural strengths instead of using them. Finding the right place to use inner genius makes everything easier. The right career, business, or opportunity allows a person to do what they are best at while minimizing the things that drain them. This doesn't mean avoiding challenges, but rather choosing the right ones. When work feels meaningful and aligned with a person's abilities, it stops feeling like work and starts feeling like purpose. Many people assume they don't have a special talent because they compare themselves to others. They see someone excelling in one area and think they should be good at that too. They overlook their own unique abilities because they are so focused on what they lack. Success doesn't come from being like someone else. It comes from recognizing what makes each person different and using that to their advantage. Inner genius isn't just about career choices. It influences every part of life. It shapes how people interact with others, solve problems, and make decisions. It affects confidence, motivation, and overall happiness. When someone is constantly working against their natural abilities, they feel frustrated and exhausted. When they embrace their strengths, they feel energized and capable. People often ignore their own genius because they assume it's nothing special. If something comes easily, they think it must be easy for everyone, but that's not true. What feels effortless to one person might be difficult for someone else. The key is recognizing and valuing these natural abilities instead of dismissing them. Success doesn't have to be a struggle. When people stop chasing things that don't align with their strengths and start focusing on what they do best, everything shifts. Progress happens faster. Confidence grows. Work becomes more enjoyable. The stress of trying to fit into the wrong mold disappears. The difference between people who achieve effortless success and those who constantly struggle isn't intelligence or luck, it's self-awareness. Discovering inner genius requires reflection and honesty. It means paying attention to patterns, interests, and natural skills. It means accepting that not everyone is meant to follow the same path. It's about recognizing what makes a person unique and building a life around it. The moment someone stops trying to be like everyone else and starts using their strengths, success becomes a natural outcome instead of a constant battle. Chapter 2. How your brain is wired for success. Success isn't just about working hard or being in the right place at the right time. The way the brain is wired plays a huge role in determining how easily someone can achieve their goals. Most people don't realize that their habits, beliefs, and daily actions are shaping their future, whether they are aware of it or not. The brain is a powerful tool, but it works based on patterns. Understanding how it functions makes it possible to use it in a way that leads to effortless success. The human mind is built for efficiency. It constantly looks for ways to make things easier by creating routines and shortcuts. This is why habits become automatic over time. When someone repeatedly does something, the brain recognizes the pattern and starts running it on autopilot. This can be a huge advantage if the habits are helpful, but it can also work against someone if they reinforce negative behaviors. The key is to program the mind with thoughts and actions that make success feel natural rather than something that requires constant struggle. Every action begins with a thought. Before anyone achieves something in the real world, they first see it in their mind. Some people use this to their advantage by training themselves to expect success, while others unknowingly sabotage themselves by focusing on failure. The brain doesn't care if a thought is helpful or harmful. It simply follows the dominant pattern. If someone constantly tells themselves they aren't good enough or that things will be difficult, the brain works to make that belief a reality. On the other hand, when someone believes they are capable and worthy of success, the mind starts finding ways to make it happen. What a person focuses on grows stronger. The mind filters out information based on what it believes is important. This is why when someone buys a new car, they suddenly start noticing that same model everywhere. It was always there, but the brain ignored it because it wasn't a priority before. The same thing happens with opportunities. If someone believes success is out of reach, their brain will overlook chances to move forward. But when they train their mind to see possibilities, they start recognizing opportunities that were always present. Most people underestimate how much their environment influences their thinking. The people they spend time with, the media they consume, and the conversations they engage in all shape their mindset. If someone is surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, it's difficult to maintain a strong belief in success. On the other hand, when they surround themselves with positivity, encouragement, and people who believe in possibilities, their thinking shifts. The mind adapts to whatever it is exposed to the most. Repetition is one of the most powerful ways to rewire the brain for success. When someone hears or says something often enough, it becomes a belief. This is why many people struggle with self-doubt. They have spent years reinforcing thoughts that work against them. But the good news is that the same principle can be used to create a winning mindset. By consistently feeding the mind with positive, success-oriented thoughts, old limiting beliefs lose their power and are replaced with new ones that support effortless achievement. The brain thrives on clarity. When a goal is vague or undefined, it's difficult for the mind to work toward it. But when a goal is clear, specific, and visualized in detail, the brain starts searching for ways to make it happen. It's like setting a destination on a GPS. Without a clear address, the system can't provide directions. But once the location is entered, it finds the best route. The mind works the same way. When a person sets a specific goal and reinforces it daily, their brain begins noticing resources, people, and ideas that align with that goal. Doubt and fear are the biggest obstacles to success, and they are created in the mind. Many people fail before they even start because they convince themselves that something is too difficult or impossible. These thoughts don't come from reality. They come from past experiences, influences, and the mind's natural tendency to avoid risk. But once someone recognizes that fear is just a mental pattern and not an actual limitation, they can override it with new beliefs. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. The words people use shape their thinking. Every time someone says something, they reinforce a belief. Negative language like, "I can't," "I'm not good at this," or "it's too hard," tells the brain to make those statements true. But when they replace those words with empowering ones like, "I can figure this out," "I am improving," and "there is a way," the mind starts looking for solutions instead of obstacles. Small changes in language create massive shifts in mindset over time. Taking action strengthens the brain's success pathways. Thinking positively is important, but it must be followed by action. Every time someone follows through on a goal, no matter how small, the brain registers it as proof that success is possible. Over time, this builds confidence and makes achievement feel natural. The more often success is experienced, the easier it becomes to expect and replicate it. The brain is designed to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. This is why change feels difficult at first. But once a new habit or way of thinking is repeated enough, it becomes comfortable and automatic. Success isn't about forcing the mind to work harder, it's about training it to work smarter. By consistently reinforcing thoughts and actions that align with a desired outcome, success stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like the obvious next step. Understanding how the brain is wired gives people an advantage. Instead of relying on willpower or luck, they can shape their thoughts, habits, and beliefs to align with success. This makes progress feel natural instead of forced. With the right mental programming, obstacles turn into opportunities, setbacks become learning experiences, and success feels like the logical result of consistent effort. When someone takes control of their mind, they take control of their future. Chapter 3. Discovering your unique gift. Everyone has something that sets them apart, a natural ability that makes certain things feel easier than they do for others. Some people are gifted in communication, while others have a natural ability to understand numbers, patterns, or emotions. The challenge isn't whether a person has a unique gift, it's whether they recognize it and know how to use it. Many people go through life never realizing their strengths because they focus too much on what they lack instead of what they naturally do well. Most people don't discover their unique talent because they're too busy trying to fit into expectations that don't align with who they really are. From an early age, society pushes a set path: do well in school, follow the rules, choose a safe career. But success isn't about following a script written by someone else. It's about identifying what comes naturally and using it in a way that creates value. When people ignore their strengths and focus on what they struggle with, they make things harder than they need to be. Paying attention to what feels effortless is a good starting point. If something feels easy, enjoyable, and fulfilling, it's often a sign of natural ability. Some people can speak to a room full of strangers without fear, while others can analyze a problem and come up with a solution in seconds. Some naturally connect with people, while others have a gift for building or designing. These skills don't always show up in traditional education or jobs, which is why many people overlook them. But they are there, shaping daily experiences in ways most don't realize. Recognizing a natural gift requires self-awareness. It means looking beyond job titles, grades, and external expectations to identify what sparks excitement and confidence. Many people have been so conditioned to follow what's practical that they ignore the things they truly enjoy. They dismiss their strengths because they assume success must be difficult. But success is easier when it aligns with who a person truly is. A unique ability often reveals itself through small moments. Maybe people frequently come for advice on a specific topic. Maybe a particular task feels so enjoyable that time disappears while doing it. Or maybe others compliment a certain skill repeatedly. These clues provide insight into natural talent. Ignoring them leads to frustration and wasted effort, while embracing them leads to fulfillment and effortless success. Many people assume their natural ability isn't valuable because it feels easy. If something doesn't require struggle, they think it must not be worth much, but the opposite is true. What comes easily to one person might be impossible for someone else. The things that feel effortless often hold the greatest potential because they can be refined and developed to create real impact. Instead of chasing skills that feel unnatural, the smarter approach is to sharpen and expand the ones that come naturally. A strong indicator of natural talent is passion. If an activity sparks excitement, energy, and motivation, it's worth paying attention to. Passion fuels persistence, and persistence leads to mastery. It's easy to put in the hours when work feels meaningful. That's why people who work in alignment with their strengths often outperform those who force themselves into roles that don't fit. Finding a unique gift doesn't mean ignoring areas of improvement. Growth is important, but there's a difference between improving a weakness and building on a strength. Many people waste years trying to be average at something they struggle with, instead of becoming exceptional at something they already do well. The biggest success stories come from people who identified what they were best at and focused on making it even stronger. Success happens faster when effort is directed toward the right areas. Instead of spending time fixing weaknesses, it's more productive to create opportunities that align with strengths. The most successful people didn't force themselves into paths that didn't suit them. They discovered what they were naturally good at and found ways to apply it in the real world. Environment plays a huge role in how strengths develop. Being in the wrong setting can suppress natural abilities, while the right setting allows them to shine. A creative thinker stuck in a rigid corporate job might struggle, while that same person in an innovative environment could thrive. Recognizing the right environment is just as important as recognizing personal strengths. Some people assume their talents must be rare to be valuable. They think that if others can do something similar, then it's not special. But uniqueness isn't about doing something no one else can do. It's about doing it in a way that stands out. Two people can have the same ability, but the way they express it, refine it, and apply it will always be different. Discovering a unique ability requires exploration. Many people never find their strengths because they don't experiment enough. They stay within comfort zones and repeat the same routines without trying new things. Stepping into different experiences provides clarity on what feels natural and what doesn't. The more a person explores, the easier it becomes to see patterns in what they enjoy and excel at. There's a difference between a skill and a gift. Skills can be learned, but a gift is something that feels natural from the start. A person can develop many skills over time, but when they build on a natural ability, they reach levels of success that feel effortless. The best results come from combining learned skills with natural strengths in a way that creates something valuable. When people embrace what they're naturally good at, confidence increases. They stop questioning whether they're capable because they're working within their zone of excellence. Self-doubt fades when actions align with strengths. This confidence makes it easier to take risks, try new things, and push forward even when challenges arise. The people who achieve effortless success are not necessarily the most educated, the hardest working, or the luckiest. They are the ones who understand themselves and build their lives around what they do best. Instead of wasting time forcing themselves into roles that don't fit, they focus on the areas where they can have the biggest impact. Success becomes easier when a person stops trying to be someone they're not and starts maximizing who they already are. Growth happens naturally when strengths are developed and applied in the right way. Struggle comes from working against natural abilities, while ease comes from using them to full advantage. The sooner a person recognizes their unique gift, the sooner they can use it to create success that feels natural and fulfilling. Chapter 4. The Power of Effortless Thinking. The way a person thinks determines how much effort success requires. Most people believe that achieving their goals has to be difficult, but that belief alone makes things harder than they need to be. The truth is, success feels effortless when the mind is trained to work in the right direction. Thought patterns either create resistance or open doors, and understanding this difference changes everything. Every day, the brain processes thousands of thoughts, shaping how a person feels and acts. When thoughts are scattered, negative, or focused on limitations, everything seems like an uphill battle. On the other hand, when thinking is clear, focused, and aligned with what a person wants, opportunities seem to appear more easily. The shift isn't in external circumstances, but in how the mind interprets and reacts to situations. Clarity is a major factor in making success feel natural. When a person knows exactly what they want, their mind filters out distractions and focuses on what matters. Uncertainty leads to hesitation, but a clear vision directs energy in a straight line. The brain thrives on clear instructions, and when a goal is well defined, the subconscious starts working on it automatically. This is why some people seem to accomplish things effortlessly while others struggle. Their thinking is organized in a way that naturally leads them forward. Doubt is one of the biggest reasons people experience unnecessary struggle. When the mind is filled with uncertainty, progress slows down. Second-guessing, overthinking, and fear of failure create mental resistance, making simple tasks feel exhausting. But when thoughts are directed toward confidence and possibility, actions feel lighter and results come faster. The mind is like a compass, it always points toward the dominant thought patterns. If those patterns are full of worry and self-criticism, progress is slow. But if they are filled with certainty and determination, success becomes the obvious outcome. A major shift happens when a person stops overcomplicating things. Many people believe that thinking harder or analyzing every detail will lead to better results, but in reality, this often creates confusion and delays action. The most successful individuals simplify their thinking by focusing on what truly matters and ignoring distractions. They don't waste time doubting themselves or entertaining unnecessary fears. Instead, they trust their instincts and move forward without hesitation. Trusting the mind's natural ability to solve problems is a skill that makes success feel effortless. Overanalyzing often blocks creativity, while allowing the brain to work freely leads to faster and better solutions. Some of the best ideas come when the mind is relaxed, not when it is forced to think harder. This is why solutions often appear unexpectedly while taking a walk, during a conversation, or in a moment of quiet reflection. The brain is wired to find answers, but it works best when it is not under pressure. Energy plays a big role in how easy or difficult success feels. When thoughts are constantly negative or filled with stress, energy levels drop and everything feels more challenging. But when the mind is focused on positive possibilities, energy increases and tasks feel easier. The way a person thinks directly affects their motivation and endurance. A tired mind struggles, while a mind filled with purpose moves forward with ease. One of the simplest ways to shift into effortless thinking is by paying attention to inner dialogue. Words hold power, and what a person repeatedly tells themselves becomes their reality. When someone constantly thinks, "This is too hard," or "I don't know if I can do this," their brain reinforces those beliefs, making everything feel difficult. But when thoughts shift to, "I will figure this out," or "This is possible for me," the brain starts searching for ways to make it happen. Small changes in self-talk lead to massive differences in outcomes. Letting go of mental clutter creates space for clearer thinking. Many people fill their minds with unnecessary worries, regrets, and endless thoughts about things beyond their control. This mental overload makes it hard to focus on what truly matters. Simplifying thoughts by focusing only on what moves things forward makes success feel lighter. Releasing distractions and unnecessary concerns allows the mind to work more efficiently. People who achieve their goals effortlessly have trained their minds to see opportunities instead of problems. Every situation can be viewed in different ways, and the way a person chooses to see it determines their experience. Some people get stuck in frustration when things don't go as planned, while others immediately look for solutions and new possibilities. This difference in thinking creates a difference in results. Effortless thinking doesn't mean avoiding challenges. It means approaching them with a mindset that makes overcoming them easier. Struggles only feel overwhelming when the mind is focused on fear, frustration, or resistance. When thinking shifts to curiosity, problem-solving, and determination, challenges turn into stepping stones instead of obstacles. The brain is always working on whatever it is fed, so feeding it with thoughts that lead to progress makes success come naturally. The way a person starts their day sets the tone for how easy or difficult things feel. If the first thoughts of the day are filled with stress and worry, the mind carries that tension throughout the day. But if the day begins with thoughts of gratitude, excitement, and purpose, everything flows more smoothly. A strong start mentally creates momentum that makes actions feel more effortless. Focusing on strengths instead of weaknesses shifts thinking in a way that removes unnecessary effort. Many people waste time trying to fix things they aren't naturally good at instead of building on what they do best. When energy is directed toward areas of natural strength, success happens with less resistance. Knowing what works well and leaning into it makes progress feel easier. Training the mind to expect success changes how opportunities are approached. When a person believes that things will work in their favor, they take action with confidence. This creates a cycle where positive thinking leads to positive actions, which then create positive results. Doubt and hesitation break this cycle, making everything feel more difficult than it needs to be. Surrounding oneself with people who think in an effortless way also makes a big difference. Negative or doubtful people can make even simple goals feel harder, while those who believe in possibilities and solutions create an environment where success feels natural. The mind absorbs the energy and mindset of those around it, so choosing the right influences can change how easy or difficult success feels. Effortless thinking is a skill that can be developed with practice. The more a person trains their mind to focus on solutions, clarity, and possibilities, the more natural it becomes. Over time, what once felt like a struggle becomes second nature. The way a person thinks is the foundation for everything they achieve, and when thinking is aligned with ease and confidence, success follows without unnecessary difficulty. Chapter 5. Breaking free from the hard work myth. Most people grow up believing that success is only possible through relentless effort, long hours, and constant struggle. They are taught that working harder than everyone else is the only way to get ahead. This belief is so common that many never stop to question it. They assume that if they aren't exhausted, they must not be doing enough. But this idea is flawed. The people who achieve the most don't necessarily work harder. They work smarter. They find ways to make success feel natural instead of forcing it through endless effort. Hard work is important, but it's not the secret ingredient that separates those who thrive from those who struggle. Many people spend years pushing themselves to exhaustion, only to find that they aren't much further ahead than when they started. Others seem to move forward with ease, achieving results that appear effortless. The difference isn't in the number of hours worked, but in the way they approach their goals. When effort is misdirected, no amount of hard work can make up for it. Struggle comes from trying to succeed in ways that don't align with natural strengths or personal interests. Many people take on careers, habits, and routines that drain their energy rather than fuel it. They assume that if something is difficult, it must be valuable. But the most successful individuals understand that ease is not the enemy of progress, it's a sign that they are on the right path. When something feels natural, it means a person is leveraging their strengths instead of forcing themselves into a mold that doesn't fit. Focusing on strengths instead of forcing weaknesses to improve leads to faster and more enjoyable success. When people ignore what they naturally do well and spend all their time trying to improve areas they struggle in, they set themselves up for frustration. Success becomes easier when effort is placed in the right direction. Instead of trying to master everything, the most effective approach is to identify and amplify personal strengths. Mindset plays a significant role in whether success feels difficult or easy. Many people have been conditioned to believe that success must be earned through hardship. They feel guilty if something comes too easily, as if they are cheating the system. But the truth is, success isn't about suffering, it's about aligning effort with purpose. The people who achieve the most are not necessarily the ones who struggle the hardest, but the ones who have mastered the ability to focus their time and energy on the right things. One of the biggest barriers to effortless success is the belief that results only come from long hours and sacrifice. Some people equate exhaustion with productivity, assuming that if they aren't working around the clock, they aren't making progress. But true productivity isn't about how many hours are worked, it's about the quality of the work being done. Someone who spends 10 hours working inefficiently accomplishes less than someone who spends 3 hours focused and intentional. Time is not the most valuable resource, energy is. When people force themselves to work beyond their limits, they burn out, making even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. Those who understand how to manage their energy rather than just their time are the ones who consistently perform at high levels without exhaustion. When energy is high, work flows smoothly and problems are solved more quickly. But when energy is drained, even the smallest task feels impossible. Prioritization is another factor that separates those who struggle from those who succeed effortlessly. Many people fill their days with tasks that do not move them closer to their goals. They stay busy but not productive, mistaking movement for progress. The key to making success feel effortless is to focus only on what truly matters and eliminate everything else. High achievers don't try to do everything, they focus on the few things that have the biggest impact. The environment plays a major role in how easy or difficult success feels. Being in the wrong environment makes even the simplest tasks feel like a struggle, while the right environment allows natural talents to flourish. Surroundings, daily habits, and even the people in one's life influence whether progress feels natural or forced. When energy is spent trying to overcome obstacles created by a bad environment, success takes longer and feels harder. But when a person places themselves in a setting that supports their goals, everything flows more smoothly. Success becomes easier when unnecessary complexity is removed. Many people overcomplicate their goals, adding unnecessary steps that slow them down. They assume that if something isn't difficult, it isn't valuable. But the most successful people look for the simplest and most effective path. They eliminate anything that doesn't serve a real purpose and focus only on what gets results. Learning to trust natural instincts makes achieving goals feel lighter. Many people second-guess themselves so often that they hesitate instead of taking action. They wait for the perfect moment, overanalyze their decisions, and allow fear to hold them back. But success often comes down to taking action without unnecessary hesitation. The more a person trusts themselves, the easier it becomes to move forward. Overthinking creates resistance, while confidence creates momentum. Letting go of outdated beliefs about hard work allows for a smoother path to success. Many people hold on to the idea that struggle equals progress because that's what they've been taught. But those who achieve the most do not operate under this belief. They recognize that struggle is often a sign of misalignment, not a requirement for success. When something feels like an uphill battle every step of the way, it's often a sign that something needs to change. The most successful individuals find ways to work with their natural abilities instead of against them. They don't force themselves into routines, jobs, or habits that drain them. Instead, they align their daily actions with what energizes them. They work with their strengths, use their time efficiently, and create environments that make success feel inevitable. Moving away from the belief that success requires struggle allows people to achieve more with less effort. It doesn't mean avoiding challenges, but it does mean approaching them in a way that minimizes unnecessary hardship. When a person focuses on what they naturally do well, manages their energy wisely, and eliminates distractions, success stops feeling like a constant uphill climb and starts feeling like a natural part of life. Chapter 6. The Role of Passion and Purpose in Genius. You might have heard people talk about the importance of passion and purpose. It's almost become a catchphrase in today's world of self-help and success. But what does it really mean for you, and how does it tie into your inner genius? Passion and purpose aren't just buzzwords. They are the driving forces that can make everything you do feel meaningful and aligned with your true self. When you connect with these two powerful elements, you unlock the full potential of your genius and make success feel natural and effortless. Passion gives you the energy to keep moving forward, while purpose provides the direction. Together, They are the dynamic duo that makes your genius shine. Understanding your passion and purpose isn't just about chasing what feels good in the moment. It's about diving deeper into what truly motivates you, what lights you up, and what you're meant to contribute to the world. The process of finding your passion and purpose may not always be quick or obvious, but when you do, the path to success becomes much clearer. You'll begin to see how everything aligns with who you are and where you're going. When you align your genius with your passion, something remarkable happens. You stop feeling like you're working. It doesn't feel like a struggle, and it doesn't feel like an endless grind. Instead, your work becomes a reflection of your true self, something that flows naturally because it's in line with what excites you. Your genius starts to work with you, not against you. At this point, you might be wondering how to identify your passion or find your purpose. The good news is that it's already inside of you. Your passion isn't some faraway destination or a mysterious force you have to chase. It's simply what resonates with you on a deep level. Think about the things that get you excited, the things that make you feel alive, the activities or pursuits that feel effortless and bring you joy. These are clues that point to your passion. But passion alone isn't enough to build lasting success. That's where purpose comes in. Passion might be the fuel, but purpose is the roadmap. Your purpose gives you a sense of direction and clarity. It's the reason why you do what you do. When you combine passion with purpose, your actions become more intentional and your path becomes clearer. For some people, purpose is about making a difference in the world, helping others, or contributing to something greater than themselves. For others, it might be about creating something unique, mastering a craft, or making life easier for others. Whatever your purpose may be, it should resonate with you deeply. It should feel meaningful and connected to your values. Purpose is what keeps you going when the going gets tough. It's the reason you get up in the morning and keep moving forward, even when the journey isn't always smooth. When you understand your purpose, you no longer feel lost or uncertain. You become clear about where you're going and why you're headed in that direction. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through the ups and downs of life. It allows you to make decisions that align with your bigger vision, even when faced with distractions or challenges. Passion and purpose work together to create a powerful sense of alignment in your life. This alignment allows your inner genius to express itself fully. It's like a muscle that you develop over time. The more you focus on what excites you and what feels right, the more your genius shows up in your life. One of the keys to unlocking your inner genius is learning to trust that these passions and purposes will guide you to where you need to be. Often, people get caught up in trying to figure everything out all at once. They think they need to have it all figured out before they can take action, but the truth is, success isn't about having all the answers right now. It's about trusting yourself enough to follow the path that feels right, even if it's not fully clear yet. Your genius will help you navigate through uncertainty and show you the next steps, as long as you remain true to your passion and purpose. Another important aspect to consider is that passion and purpose give you the strength to overcome obstacles. Everyone faces challenges, no one is exempt from that. But when you're deeply connected to your purpose, you'll find the strength to push through the hard times. Passion fuels your energy, and purpose gives you resilience. It's that drive and determination that help you keep going, even when it feels like the world is working against you. There will be days when things don't seem to go right. You might face setbacks, make mistakes, or feel like you're not moving forward. But when your passion and purpose are clear, you can keep pushing forward. You have a reason to keep going, a bigger picture to focus on, and that sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing that you're on the right path. When you're living in alignment with your passion and purpose, everything starts to flow. You begin to attract opportunities that support your genius. Your work starts to feel easier, and your results come more naturally. This isn't about avoiding hard work, it's about ensuring that the hard work you do feels meaningful and aligned with who you are. Think about it like this. When you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like work. You're energized, inspired, and excited to keep going. Passion creates that fire within you, and purpose gives it direction. Without purpose, passion can feel scattered, like you're just chasing one shiny object after another. But with purpose, passion becomes focused. It becomes part of a bigger vision for your life, something that drives you to keep moving forward. Finding your purpose is a deeply personal journey. It may take time, and it may evolve as you grow and change. What matters is that you take the time to connect with it. Listen to what excites you. Pay attention to the things that bring you joy, and trust that your purpose will reveal itself over time. It's also important to remember that your passion and purpose don't have to be grand or world-changing. Not everyone's purpose is to start a business or lead a movement. For some, it might simply be about living a life of integrity, raising a family, creating art, or making a difference in their community. Your purpose is unique to you, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. The key is to embrace it fully, to recognize that it's an essential part of your journey, and to allow it to guide you toward the success you deserve. When you finally start living in harmony with your passion and purpose, you'll notice something incredible happening. Your inner genius will become more obvious to you. It will be easier to tap into, easier to trust, and easier to express. You'll stop second-guessing yourself and start making decisions with confidence. Your genius will no longer feel like something that you have to work hard to uncover. It will be something that naturally flows from within you every single day. Passion and purpose unlock your full potential. They connect you to your true self and allow you to operate from a place of authenticity. When your genius is aligned with what you love and what you're meant to do, success becomes not just possible, it becomes inevitable. And the best part? It feels effortless. It feels like you're living the life you were always meant to live, and it feels good. So take a moment to reflect on your own passion and purpose. What excites you? What are you here to do? These aren't questions you need to answer overnight, but they are questions worth exploring. Trust that the more you connect with your passion and purpose, the more your genius will shine through. And the more your genius shines, the closer you'll get to a life of effortless success. Chapter 7. Using your genius to solve problems instantly. At some point, we all encounter challenges. It's an inevitable part of life. But what if I told you that you have the ability to solve problems almost instantly, without stressing over them or making them more complicated than they need to be? It's not a dream, it's a reality waiting for you to tap into. The key to solving problems quickly and efficiently lies in your inner genius. When you understand how to use it, you'll find that obstacles no longer hold you back in the same way. Everyone faces problems. From small inconveniences to big life-changing challenges, problems show up in all forms. The difference between those who seem to navigate life's hurdles effortlessly and those who feel stuck is how they use their natural abilities to think and act. When you understand how your mind works and how to access your genius, you can find solutions faster and more effectively. The first thing to recognize is that your mind is naturally wired to solve problems. In fact, it's one of the key functions of your brain. The human mind is designed to identify issues and find solutions, often faster than you might realize. The challenge for many people is that they overthink, overcomplicate, or get overwhelmed by the problem in front of them. They start looking for complicated answers when the simplest one might be right under their nose. When you connect with your inner genius, problem solving doesn't need to feel like a battle. Instead of trying to force a solution, you begin to approach it from a place of calm and clarity. Your genius guides you toward the simplest, most effective path. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that you already have what you need to solve the problem. All you need is to allow your mind to do what it was designed to do: think clearly and creatively. One way to unlock this ability is by staying present in the moment. When a problem arises, it's easy to get caught up in the stress of the situation. You might start to panic, worry about what could go wrong, or even feel like you're completely stuck. But the moment you allow yourself to be present and calm, your mind can begin to work in your favor. Stress and anxiety only cloud your judgment and make it harder to find solutions. The key is to take a deep breath, center yourself, and approach the problem from a place of calm. This clarity will allow your genius to show up and help you solve the issue. Another important aspect of solving problems effectively is shifting your mindset. Many people are conditioned to see problems as obstacles or roadblocks. This mindset causes them to feel frustrated, defeated, or overwhelmed. But when you begin to see problems as opportunities to learn, grow, and apply your genius, you start approaching challenges with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. You begin to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And how can I use this challenge to become better? When you approach problems with this mindset, they no longer seem as threatening. Instead, they become stepping stones toward greater success. This shift in perspective helps you move from feeling helpless to feeling empowered. It gives you the confidence to face whatever comes your way, knowing that you have the tools to find a solution. It also allows you to think outside the box. Problems often seem complicated because we try to force a solution that doesn't fit. But when you allow yourself to be flexible and creative, you'll often find that there's a much simpler solution waiting to be discovered. Another way to solve problems quickly is by trusting your instincts. Your inner genius operates through your instincts and intuition. Many times, the first idea that pops into your head is the best one. The trick is not to dismiss it out of fear or doubt, but to trust it. This is where the practice of listening to your gut comes into play. You might be faced with a difficult decision or a complex problem, and the answer might seem unclear. But if you stop overanalyzing and listen to your inner voice, you'll often find that it leads you in the right direction. Your genius speaks to you through these instincts, guiding you toward the solution that feels right for you. Sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that the only way to solve a problem is by doing it alone. But your genius doesn't work in isolation. It works best when you're open to collaboration and input from others. It's important to surround yourself with people who encourage your thinking and support your problem-solving abilities. When you have a network of people who can offer new perspectives or provide helpful feedback, you open yourself up to better solutions. Great problem-solving often comes from sharing ideas and thinking together, not just from working in a vacuum. Your genius expands when you allow yourself to learn from others and consider different viewpoints. Another aspect of solving problems quickly is developing the habit of taking action. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of overthinking. You analyze, reanalyze, and second-guess yourself to the point where you feel paralyzed. But one of the quickest ways to solve any problem is to take action, even if it's a small step forward. By doing something, anything, you create momentum. And once you have momentum, solutions start to come to you more easily. You begin to see things from a new angle, and the problem no longer feels insurmountable. Taking action also helps you avoid the trap of perfectionism. Many people hesitate to solve problems because they're afraid of making a mistake. They want everything to be perfect before they take a step. But perfectionism is a barrier to progress. When you focus on taking imperfect action, you allow yourself the freedom to learn and adapt as you go. This mindset will help you solve problems more efficiently and with less stress. One of the most powerful tools you have when solving problems is your ability to break things down into manageable pieces. When you're faced with a complex problem, it can feel overwhelming. But if you take a step back and break the problem down into smaller, more manageable tasks, you'll find that it's easier to tackle. Your genius thrives when you simplify things. Instead of trying to solve everything at once, focus on the first small step you can take and go from there. This makes the problem seem less daunting and helps you move forward with confidence. Finally, remember that not every problem needs to be solved right away. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take a step back and give yourself time to think. It's okay to let your mind process the issue before jumping into a solution. Giving yourself space allows your genius to work in the background, helping you come up with the best possible answer when you're ready. The key is to trust the process and allow yourself the time you need to find the solution that works best for you. When you start using your genius to solve problems, you'll quickly notice that challenges no longer feel like obstacles. They become opportunities for growth and learning. You'll begin to see problems as temporary situations that can be solved with the right approach, and most importantly, you'll realize that your genius is always available to help you find the solutions you need. The more you trust it, the more effortlessly you'll navigate life's challenges. And as you continue to apply this mindset, your success will become not just possible but inevitable. Chapter 8. The secret to learning faster and smarter. Speed and efficiency are everything. Whether you're trying to pick up a new skill, master a concept, or improve your knowledge in a specific area, the ability to learn quickly and effectively can be a game changer. But learning isn't just about memorizing facts or repeating information over and over until it sticks. It's about understanding how to absorb and apply knowledge in a way that feels natural and efficient. The secret to learning faster and smarter lies in how you approach it. You use your mind, your resources, and your environment to maximize your potential. The first thing to recognize is that your brain is a powerful tool. It's designed to learn, adapt, and grow. But like any tool, it needs to be used properly. The more you understand how your brain works, the more effectively you can tap into your ability to learn. One of the keys to learning quickly is understanding that your brain doesn't work in isolation. It operates best when you engage it fully, using multiple senses and connecting new information to what you already know. When you learn in a way that activates different parts of your brain, the process becomes faster, easier, and more effective. One way to speed up the learning process is to focus on the quality of your attention. When you give your full attention to something, you engage your mind in a way that makes it easier to absorb information. Distractions, on the other hand, slow you down. When you're trying to learn something new, it's important to eliminate as many distractions as possible. This means putting away your phone, turning off notifications, and creating a quiet, focused space for learning. The more focused your attention, the more quickly your brain can process and retain the information. One of the most effective ways to learn faster is by actively engaging with the material. This doesn't just mean reading or listening passively. It means getting involved with the material in a way that challenges you to think critically, solve problems, and apply what you've learned. When you actively engage with new knowledge, your brain creates stronger connections, making it easier to recall and use the information later. This is why teaching someone else what you've learned can be such a powerful tool. It forces you to internalize the information, organize it, and explain it in your own words. Active engagement turns passive learning into an interactive experience, and that's what accelerates the process. Another way to learn faster is by breaking information down into smaller, more manageable pieces. The brain works more effectively when you give it one thing to focus on at a time. Trying to learn too much all at once can overwhelm you, making it harder to remember anything. Instead, break complex topics into smaller chunks and focus on mastering one chunk before moving on to the next. This approach, often called chunking, helps your brain organize the information in a way that makes it easier to process and recall later. It's also important to use repetition, but not in the way you might think. Instead of repeating the same information over and over in a mindless way, focus on spaced repetition. This means revisiting the material at increasing intervals over time, rather than cramming all at once. Studies have shown that spaced repetition leads to better long-term retention. By reviewing material at regular intervals, you reinforce the connections in your brain, making it easier to recall the information when you need it. The key is to space out your practice sessions and gradually increase the time between reviews. Another useful technique for learning faster is to connect new information to what you already know. Your brain is a network of interconnected ideas and experiences, and when you link new knowledge to something familiar, it becomes easier to absorb. This is why you may find it easier to learn something when it's related to your personal interests or previous experiences. When new information feels relevant to you, it sticks. So, as you're learning something new, try to find connections to your existing knowledge or experience. The more links you create between what you're learning and what you already know, the faster and easier it will be to understand and retain the new material. The role of emotion in learning is another often overlooked aspect. When you engage your emotions in the learning process, you create stronger, more lasting memories. Emotion is a powerful catalyst for memory retention. Think about the last time you learned something that excited you or sparked a strong emotional response. Chances are you remember it more vividly than something you learnt in a neutral or disinterested state. The key is to find ways to connect emotionally to the material you're learning, whether it's by relating the content to something you're passionate about or finding personal meaning in the information. Infusing emotion into the process helps to solidify it in your memory. When you learn smarter, not harder, you also learn with purpose. Having a clear goal in mind for what you want to achieve helps you focus your learning efforts and direct them toward a specific outcome. Whether you're trying to acquire a new skill, pass an exam, or master a concept, having a goal makes your learning more intentional. Without a goal, learning can feel aimless and scattered. But with a clear objective, every piece of information you absorb feels purposeful, and you can see how it fits into the bigger picture. Your brain works better when it has a clear direction to follow, and purpose provides that direction. One of the most important habits for learning faster is the willingness to make mistakes and learn from them. Many people shy away from failure or mistakes, but the truth is, making mistakes is an essential part of the learning process. When you make a mistake, your brain takes note of it and adjusts. Mistakes show you where you need to improve, and they create new opportunities for learning. Instead of being discouraged by failure, embrace it as a valuable part of your growth. Each mistake you make brings you one step closer to mastering the material. In addition to learning from mistakes, it's important to take care of your body and mind. Your brain needs proper nutrition, sleep, and exercise to function at its best. When you're well rested and in good physical shape, your brain works more efficiently, making it easier to learn. Exercise, for example, has been shown to improve memory and cognitive function. Regular physical activity boosts blood flow to the brain, helping it to process information faster. Proper nutrition, too, is crucial. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and other brain-boosting nutrients support cognitive function and memory. Taking care of your body directly impacts your ability to learn smarter and faster. Remember that learning is a lifelong process. You don't need to master everything in one sitting, and you certainly don't need to know it all right now. Learning faster doesn't mean rushing through the process. It means being intentional with your time and energy. It's about being mindful of how you approach learning, making use of the best strategies and techniques, and consistently applying what you've learned to move closer to your goals. The more you embrace this mindset, the easier and faster the learning process will feel, and the more successful you'll become in whatever you set your mind to. Chapter 9. How to make success feel easy. Success is something many people strive for, yet few truly experience it in a way that feels effortless. It's easy to assume that success requires immense hard work, long hours, and constant struggle. But what if I told you that success doesn't need to feel like a battle? What if there was a way to make success flow more naturally, where the path forward seemed almost effortless? The truth is, success can feel easy. And when you align yourself with your inner genius, that's exactly what happens. The first step to making success feel easy is understanding that the way we view success is often what makes it harder than it needs to be. Many people see success as something that's out of their reach, or something they need to work relentlessly toward. This mindset can lead to stress, burnout, and a feeling of frustration. But when you shift your perspective and begin to see success as something that's already available to you, you unlock a new kind of energy. Instead of pushing against obstacles, you begin to work in harmony with them. You realize that success is not a destination but a journey that doesn't have to be exhausting or overwhelming. The next key is understanding that success is the result of consistent actions, not heroic efforts. People often think that achieving success requires one massive breakthrough or a moment of genius. But in reality, success comes from making small, smart decisions every day. These small actions add up over time, creating momentum that leads to bigger results. It's like planting a seed and nurturing it until it grows into something strong and fruitful. You don't have to force things to happen. You just need to stay consistent and trust the process. When you approach success with this mindset, you stop looking for shortcuts that promise fast results. Instead, you focus on building good habits and making progress every day. This approach doesn't just make success feel easier, it makes it sustainable. You stop burning yourself out by chasing fleeting rewards, and instead, you focus on long-term growth. Success feels effortless when you're not struggling to catch up, but rather steadily moving forward with purpose. Another powerful shift is learning to work with your natural abilities rather than against them. Everyone has unique talents, strengths, and preferences. Success feels easy when you align your work with what you're naturally good at. This doesn't mean avoiding challenges or never stepping outside of your comfort zone, but it does mean focusing on what comes naturally to you. When you work within your zone of genius, things start to flow with ease. You tap into the energy and creativity that already exists inside you, and this makes success feel more like a natural outcome than a forced effort. One of the most important elements of making success feel easy is removing the unnecessary stress and pressure that many people put on themselves. We often place enormous pressure on ourselves to achieve big things, and this pressure can create resistance and frustration. When you let go of the need to be perfect and the pressure to do everything right, you open yourself up to the possibility of success without the added stress. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing your best and allowing the process to unfold naturally. Trusting the process is another vital part of making success feel effortless. There's a difference between working hard and working smart. Too often, people feel that if they're not working tirelessly, they're not doing enough. This belief leads to burnout and exhaustion. But the truth is that it's possible to achieve success while working less hard and with more focus. Trusting the process means understanding that you don't have to control every detail. Instead, you focus on what you can control and allow the rest to unfold in its own time. Letting go of the need to control everything also means being open to new opportunities and ideas. Success often comes in unexpected ways. When you release the grip on your expectations and allow yourself to remain open to what life brings your way, success becomes easier to achieve. Opportunities appear when you stop forcing them. You find that the more you trust and surrender, the more aligned you become with your goals. Success feels easy when you're not holding on to the outcome with such a tight grip, but instead, you allow yourself to flow with life. An essential piece of the puzzle is understanding that success requires alignment between your actions, thoughts, and values. When you're out of alignment, when what you do doesn't reflect who you are or what you truly want, success becomes a struggle. The secret to making success feel easy is aligning your external actions with your internal desires. This alignment creates a powerful sense of purpose, and with that purpose, everything you do feels more natural. You stop forcing yourself to chase after things that don't matter, and you start focusing on what truly brings you fulfillment and joy. Creating a clear vision for your success is another key factor in making it feel effortless. When you know exactly where you're headed, you can take intentional, focused steps toward your goals. This doesn't mean having every detail of your life mapped out, but it does mean having a clear sense of direction. A clear vision gives you something to aim for and helps you make decisions with confidence. It eliminates the guesswork and provides a roadmap for success. When you're clear about your purpose, the path becomes much easier to follow, and success starts to feel inevitable. Another critical element of making success feel easy is developing resilience. Challenges and setbacks are part of the journey, but when you face them with resilience, you don't let them derail your progress. Resilience is about bouncing back after a setback, learning from it, and moving forward. It's about not letting temporary failures dictate your future. The more resilient you become, the easier success feels, because you realize that challenges are just stepping stones along the way. You don't view them as obstacles, you view them as opportunities to grow stronger and smarter. It's also important to recognize that success doesn't happen overnight. It's easy to look at successful people and think they've always had it easy. But the truth is that success is the result of years of hard work, dedication, and learning from mistakes. Success feels easy when you recognize that it's a process, not a quick fix. When you embrace this long-term perspective, you stop worrying about instant gratification and focus on the journey. You understand that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress, and that makes success feel more achievable and less daunting. You also need to prioritize self-care along the way. Success doesn't come from pushing yourself to the limit day after day. It comes from taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. When you're well-rested, healthy, and at peace, you have the energy and clarity to pursue your goals without burning out. Self-care is a key ingredient to making success feel easy because it keeps you balanced and focused. You don't have to sacrifice your well-being for success. In fact, your well-being is what supports the success you're after. Ultimately, making success feel easy comes down to the mindset you adopt and the actions you take. When you stop seeing success as something you have to chase or force and start seeing it as a natural extension of who you are, everything changes. Success becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. It's about aligning with your inner genius, trusting the process, and staying consistent. When you approach success from this perspective, it becomes less about effort and more about ease. And that's when you start experiencing the kind of success that feels not just achievable but effortless. Chapter 10. The Art of Letting Go and Trusting Yourself. Trusting yourself is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your journey towards success. But it's also one of the hardest things to do. We are often our own biggest critics, doubting our abilities, second-guessing our decisions, and worrying about whether we're making the right choices. The fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, and the fear of being judged can all prevent us from trusting ourselves. Yet, when you learn to let go of those doubts and trust your own instincts, everything changes. Success becomes less of a struggle, and your path forward becomes much clearer. The first step in trusting yourself is to understand that no one knows you better than you. You are the only person who has experienced your life from your unique perspective. You know your strengths, your passions, and your values. When you listen to your inner voice and trust that it's guiding you in the right direction, you tap into a well of wisdom that can propel you forward. Your instincts are not there to steer you wrong. They are there to help you make the right decisions for your life. It's easy to fall into the trap of relying on others for answers. We live in a world where advice and opinions are everywhere, and it's tempting to seek validation from other people. But the truth is, while feedback from others can be helpful, it should never replace your own judgment. No one else has the same insight into your life and your goals as you do. When you trust yourself, you don't need to ask for permission or wait for someone else's approval. You make decisions based on what feels right to you, not based on what others think you should do. Letting go of the fear of making mistakes is a huge part of trusting yourself. Mistakes are an inevitable part of the journey toward success. In fact, they are often the best teachers. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new. You discover what works, what doesn't work, and how to improve. The fear of failure holds you back and prevents you from taking risks, trying new things, and learning from the experience. But when you trust yourself, you allow yourself the freedom to make mistakes without letting them define you. You know that every mistake is simply a step toward getting closer to your goals. The process of trusting yourself also requires you to let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is rooted in fear, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being judged, and the fear of failure. It creates a mindset where nothing is ever good enough, and everything must be flawless. This kind of thinking can paralyze you and prevent you from moving forward. Trusting yourself means letting go of the need to be perfect. It means embracing the idea that doing your best is enough, and that mistakes and imperfections are just part of the process. When you stop trying to control every detail, you free yourself to take action without the constant pressure of needing everything to be just right. A big part of trusting yourself is developing confidence in your abilities. Confidence doesn't come from always being right or never making mistakes. It comes from knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Confidence grows when you recognize your own worth and believe in your potential. The more you trust yourself, the more confident you become. You start to realize that you have everything you need to succeed, and you stop waiting for outside validation. You trust that you can figure things out, and you trust that you will make the right decisions, even when things don't go according to plan. It's also important to recognize that trusting yourself means trusting your intuition. Intuition is that inner knowing that guides you when logic or reason doesn't have all the answers. It's that gut feeling that tells you when something is right or wrong. Too often, we ignore our intuition in favor of overthinking or seeking external approval. But your intuition is a powerful tool that can lead you to the right decisions. Trusting it means giving yourself permission to follow that inner voice, even when it doesn't always make sense to others or to your rational mind. The ability to trust yourself also means learning to let go of control. Many of us have a deep need to control every aspect of our lives. We want to know exactly how everything will unfold, and we want to make sure that nothing goes wrong. But the reality is that we can't control everything, and trying to do so only creates stress and frustration. Trusting yourself means letting go of the need to control every outcome and allowing life to unfold naturally. It means knowing that, no matter what happens, you have the ability to adapt and make the best of any situation. One of the most freeing aspects of trusting yourself is the ability to let go of the fear of what others think. We spend so much of our lives worrying about how we're perceived by others, whether they will approve of our choices, whether they will judge us, or whether we will meet their expectations. But when you trust yourself, you stop seeking approval from others. You begin to make choices that align with your values and your goals, not based on what others might think. You realize that you can't control how others perceive you, and that's okay. What matters is that you are true to yourself and follow your own path. Letting go of the need for validation also means letting go of comparisons. We live in a world where comparisons are rampant, whether it's comparing ourselves to others on social media, at work, or in our personal lives. We measure our worth based on how we stack up against others. But trusting yourself means recognizing that your path is unique, and that comparing yourself to others only distracts you from your own journey. You stop looking at what others are doing and focus on what feels right for you. You realize that everyone has their own timeline, and success looks different for each person. Trusting yourself means embracing your individuality and letting go of the need to measure your success against someone else's. Another important aspect of trusting yourself is learning to listen to your own needs and desires. Often, we're so focused on the opinions of others or on meeting external expectations that we forget to check in with ourselves. We ignore our own desires, needs, and feelings in favor of doing what we think we should do. But when you trust yourself, you make it a priority to listen to what you need. You honor your own boundaries, your own desires, and your own feelings. You recognize that your needs are just as important as anyone else's, and you give yourself permission to prioritize your own well-being. Trusting yourself also means being kind to yourself, especially during difficult times. It's easy to be hard on yourself when things aren't going well, when you make mistakes, or when you encounter setbacks. But self-trust means extending compassion to yourself. It means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you make a mistake or face a challenge, instead of beating yourself up, you acknowledge that it's part of the process and that you're doing the best you can. You trust that you have the resilience to overcome any obstacle and that setbacks are just temporary. Trust is built over time. It's a habit that you develop by consistently listening to yourself, making decisions based on your own values, and learning from your experiences. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to make decisions, take action, and move forward. And the more you let go of the need for approval, perfection, and control, the more effortless success becomes. When you trust yourself, you open the door to your true potential and allow yourself to create the life you've always wanted. Chapter 11. Using your genius to overcome any challenge. Challenges are an inevitable part of life. No matter how successful or experienced you are, at some point, you will face obstacles. However, what sets people apart is not the challenges themselves, but how they respond to them. The ability to overcome challenges and turn them into opportunities is something that comes naturally when you tap into your inner genius. When you truly understand your strengths and trust your abilities, no problem feels too big to handle. When challenges arise, the first step is to remain calm and collected. It's easy to react emotionally when things go wrong, especially when the pressure feels intense. But taking a step back and pausing for a moment allows you to regain control of the situation. Instead of getting swept away by panic or frustration, you can shift your focus to problem solving. This shift in mindset is the key to overcoming any challenge. It's about recognizing that challenges are just temporary roadblocks, not permanent barriers. One of the most effective ways to face challenges is to break them down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Often, when we look at a challenge as a whole, it seems overwhelming. The weight of the entire situation can paralyze us, making it hard to take action. But when you break the problem down into smaller steps, it becomes easier to tackle. Focus on what you can do right now, and take it one step at a time. Each small action you take brings you closer to overcoming the challenge, and before you know it, you'll have worked through the entire situation. Another important aspect of overcoming challenges is remembering that no challenge is insurmountable when you have the right mindset. The key is to approach problems with a mindset of growth. Instead of seeing obstacles as signs of failure, view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Every challenge you face has something valuable to teach you. Even if things don't go as planned, you gain insights that help you improve in the future. When you adopt this mindset, challenges no longer feel like setbacks, but rather stepping stones toward your success. Your inner genius is a powerful tool in overcoming challenges because it helps you tap into your creativity and problem-solving skills. Often, the solution to a problem is not immediately obvious, but when you connect with your genius, you begin to see things from a different perspective. You start to think outside the box and come up with solutions that you may not have considered before. Your unique talents and abilities give you a distinct advantage in problem-solving, allowing you to approach challenges in innovative ways. It's also important to recognize that challenges are part of the journey, not something to be avoided. Everyone faces difficult situations at some point. In fact, challenges are often the very things that build character, resilience, and strength. When you realize that challenges are a natural part of life, you stop fearing them and start embracing them. Instead of seeing obstacles as something to run from, you see them as opportunities to test your abilities and grow stronger. The more you face and overcome challenges, the more confident you become in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Another key to overcoming challenges is staying focused on your end goal. It's easy to get sidetracked by the difficulties you encounter along the way, but the key to success is maintaining a clear vision of where you want to go. When you stay focused on your goals, the obstacles you face become less intimidating. They're just temporary hurdles that don't define your success. By keeping your eye on the prize and refusing to let distractions pull you off course, you can push through any challenge with determination and perseverance. Sometimes overcoming challenges requires you to ask for help. There's no shame in seeking support from others when you're facing a tough situation. In fact, reaching out for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Your inner genius can also guide you to recognize when you need assistance. By surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and can offer valuable advice or support, you create a strong support system that can help you navigate challenges more effectively. Don't be afraid to lean on others when needed. It's a part of the process. Additionally, it's important to trust your instincts when facing challenges. Your intuition is a powerful guide that can help you navigate difficult situations. Often, when we are in the midst of a challenge, our first instinct is to overthink or second-guess ourselves. But the more you trust your gut feelings, the easier it becomes to make decisions and move forward. Trusting your intuition allows you to stay in alignment with your inner genius, which is always working in your best interest. When you learn to trust yourself and your instincts, you give yourself the confidence to face challenges head-on. Another effective strategy for overcoming challenges is to stay flexible and adaptable. Things don't always go as planned, and when they don't, it's easy to get frustrated or stuck. But the ability to pivot and adjust your approach is crucial for overcoming obstacles. When you stay flexible, you open yourself up to new possibilities and solutions. Instead of clinging to one rigid idea or approach, you allow yourself to explore different paths and alternatives. This adaptability is a key factor in turning challenges into opportunities. Sometimes, facing challenges requires you to confront your fears. Fear is one of the most common reasons why people avoid taking action or making difficult decisions. But fear is not something to be feared itself. It's simply a natural response to uncertainty. When you acknowledge your fears and face them head-on, you take away their power. Your inner genius allows you to approach fear with confidence and courage. Instead of letting fear hold you back, you can use it as fuel to push forward and prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. It's also essential to maintain a positive attitude when facing challenges. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It means focusing on the possibilities rather than the problems. When you maintain a positive attitude, you begin to see solutions instead of obstacles. Your mindset influences how you perceive the challenges you face, and by choosing to focus on the opportunities within each challenge, you make it easier to overcome. A positive attitude helps you stay resilient and determined, even in the face of adversity. Lastly, remember that overcoming challenges is a process, not an event. It takes time, patience, and persistence to work through difficult situations. Don't expect to solve everything overnight. Be kind to yourself as you navigate challenges, and recognize that progress is often made one step at a time. Celebrate small victories along the way and acknowledge the growth that comes with each challenge you overcome. The more you face and conquer challenges, the more confident and capable you become. Your inner genius is the key to overcoming any challenge. By tapping into your strengths, trusting your instincts, and staying focused on your goals, you can navigate even the most difficult situations with ease. Remember that challenges are not roadblocks. They are opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. When you use your genius to approach obstacles with a growth mindset, creativity, and resilience, you will find that no challenge is too great to overcome. Keep moving forward and trust that you have everything you need within you to succeed. Chapter 12. The Confidence Formula for Genius Thinking. Confidence is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without confidence, even the most brilliant ideas can remain unrealized, and the most talented individuals can fall short of their potential. Confidence isn't something that some people are born with while others are not. It is a quality that can be developed, nurtured, and strengthened over time. It comes from within, but it's also shaped by the actions you take and the way you view the world and your own abilities. When you tap into your inner genius, you unlock the confidence needed to face any challenge, make bold decisions, and pursue your goals with unshakable belief. The first thing to understand about confidence is that it's not about being perfect or knowing everything. In fact, true confidence isn't about having all the answers. It's about being comfortable with not having all the answers and trusting yourself to find solutions as you go. Confidence is born out of a deep belief in your own abilities, not because everything always goes right, but because you know you can handle whatever comes your way. It's the ability to remain calm, make decisions, and take action, even when the outcome is uncertain. One of the key elements of confidence is self-belief. This is the cornerstone of genius thinking. When you believe in yourself, you trust that you are capable of achieving your goals, even when things seem difficult or impossible. Self-belief allows you to take risks, try new things, and learn from your mistakes without doubting your worth. It's important to remember that self-belief isn't about arrogance or thinking that you're better than others. It's about understanding your unique talents and strengths and knowing that you have what it takes to succeed, no matter the circumstances. In order to cultivate this self-belief, it's essential to recognize your own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Each success you experience, no matter how minor, serves as proof that you are capable and worthy of success. Take the time to acknowledge your progress and give yourself credit for your hard work. By doing so, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling bigger challenges and achieving more. The more you recognize your own accomplishments, the more your confidence will grow. Another important aspect of building confidence is learning to silence your inner critic. Many people struggle with self-doubt, and their inner voice is often filled with negative thoughts and criticism. This inner critic can be paralyzing, making you question your abilities and second-guess your decisions. But the truth is, the more you listen to this voice, the more it holds you back. In order to build confidence, you must learn to quiet this negative self-talk and replace it with positive, affirming thoughts. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to dismiss the inner critic and embrace a more positive, confident mindset. Another key to confidence is taking action. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or from sitting on the sidelines. It comes from doing. When you take action, even small steps, you start to build momentum and prove to yourself that you are capable of making things happen. The more action you take, the more confident you become in your ability to handle challenges and move toward your goals. It's important to remember that action doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to wait for everything to be aligned before you take the first step. Just take the step and let the process unfold. Confidence grows with each action you take, and you'll find that as you move forward, the fear of failure and uncertainty begins to fade. Resilience is another crucial aspect of confidence. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and setbacks are inevitable. But it's not the setbacks that define you, it's how you bounce back from them. Resilience is about getting back up after a fall, learning from your mistakes, and using those lessons to grow stronger. The more resilient you become, the more confident you'll feel in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you reinforce the belief that you can handle challenges and turn setbacks into opportunities. A big part of developing confidence is also learning to embrace failure. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided, but it is an essential part of the learning process. When you fail, you don't lose. You gain valuable experience and insights that help you improve. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but what sets them apart is their ability to bounce back and keep going. Confidence isn't about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a stepping stone to success. When you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as part of the journey, your confidence grows. One of the most effective ways to build confidence is by surrounding yourself with people who support and uplift you. The people you associate with have a powerful impact on your mindset and self-belief. If you spend time with people who encourage you, believe in your potential, and challenge you to grow, you'll find that your own confidence will increase. On the other hand, if you're surrounded by people who are negative, critical, or dismissive, it can be much harder to build confidence. Seek out relationships that inspire and motivate you, and distance yourself from those that drain your energy or undermine your self-esteem. It's also important to take care of yourself, physically and mentally. Confidence is closely tied to how you feel about yourself on the inside and outside. When you take care of your body, eat well, exercise, and get enough rest, you feel more energized and capable. Mental and emotional well-being is just as important. Practice self-care, manage stress, and make time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. When you feel good physically and emotionally, your confidence naturally increases, and you feel more equipped to handle life's challenges. Another powerful way to build confidence is by setting and achieving small goals. Confidence is built through accomplishment. The more you achieve, the more you believe in your abilities. Start by setting realistic, achievable goals that move you closer to your bigger vision. Each time you reach a goal, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable of success. These small wins add up over time, and they create a foundation of confidence that allows you to take on bigger challenges with belief and determination. Visualizing success is also a great way to boost confidence. Take a moment every day to visualize yourself achieving your goals. Picture yourself succeeding and imagine how that success will feel. This mental exercise helps you build the belief that you are capable of achieving what you desire. When you visualize success, you are programming your mind for success, and your confidence grows as a result. Confidence is a mindset, and like any mindset, it can be trained and developed. The more you focus on your strengths, take action, and learn from your experiences, the more your confidence will grow. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent and believing in yourself, even when things don't go as planned. When you tap into your inner genius and embrace your abilities, you unlock a level of confidence that allows you to pursue your dreams, overcome challenges, and achieve success with ease. Confidence is the key to unlocking your potential and creating the life you've always desired. Chapter 13. Making success happen with less effort. Success can seem like a distant, almost unreachable goal when we think of it in terms of effort and sacrifice. Many people believe that success requires constant struggle, long hours, and overwhelming pressure. They equate hard work with the amount of time spent and energy exerted. But the truth is that success doesn't always have to feel hard. In fact, it can be achieved with far less effort than most people think, especially when you tap into your inner genius. To make success feel easier, it's important to first understand that working smarter, not harder, is key. The misconception that success demands extreme effort can lead you down a path of burnout, frustration, and ultimately failure. When you are working from a place of frustration or exhaustion, you are not operating at your highest potential. Your genius lies in your ability to make decisions quickly, efficiently, and effectively, with minimal wasted energy. Making success feel easy starts with recognizing that effort doesn't always equate to results. Many people find themselves working endlessly, putting in hours of labor only to see minimal progress. This happens when they aren't aligned with their true abilities, when they're not focusing on the tasks that matter most, or when they're spreading themselves too thin. When you stop and consider what truly moves the needle in your life or career, you will find that the key to success is often a matter of focus and consistency, not continuous hard work. The first step is simplifying your approach. Break down your goals into manageable tasks and focus on the ones that will create the greatest impact. Avoid overcomplicating things with unnecessary tasks that don't contribute directly to your goals. It's easy to get caught up in busy work, thinking that every little thing must be done for success to follow. But true success comes when you eliminate distractions, focus on the essential, and commit to doing what matters most. This principle of working less but achieving more is not about being lazy, it's about working in harmony with your strengths. When you tap into your inner genius, you begin to recognize what you are truly good at. You identify the areas where you can make the most significant impact and focus your energy there. When you use your natural abilities, everything becomes easier. Tasks that once felt difficult or overwhelming become enjoyable because you're leveraging your strengths, not fighting against them. Another crucial element in making success feel easy is developing the right mindset. The way you think about success and effort plays a massive role in how easy or hard success will be for you. When you believe that success is difficult or requires a lot of struggle, you unconsciously create barriers for yourself. But when you change your mindset to one of abundance and ease, you open yourself up to opportunities that were once hidden. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable challenges, you start to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. With this shift in perspective, you begin to approach tasks with a sense of calm, confidence, and determination, making the process feel less taxing. Equally important is the idea of delegation. Trying to do everything yourself not only adds to your workload but also limits your potential for success. By delegating tasks that don't require your unique skills or expertise, you free up time and energy for the things that truly matter. Delegation isn't about passing off responsibility, it's about recognizing that your time and focus are valuable, and by relying on others for certain tasks, you can put your genius to work in the areas that will make the biggest difference. Making success feel easy also involves aligning your efforts with your passion. When you are passionate about what you do, it doesn't feel like work. Passion fuels your energy and drive, and when you love what you're doing, the effort comes naturally. The more aligned your work is with your purpose, the more effortless it becomes. You will find yourself working longer hours without feeling drained, simply because you are energized by the work itself. Passion keeps you motivated, and motivation makes the process smoother and more enjoyable. When you pursue what excites you, success doesn't require as much forceful effort. Instead, it unfolds organically, driven by your enthusiasm and determination. It's also important to note that making success feel easy doesn't mean you won't face challenges along the way. Challenges are a natural part of any journey, but it's how you handle them that makes all the difference. Instead of approaching challenges with dread or fear, you begin to view them as temporary and solvable. Your inner genius helps you find creative solutions, think on your feet, and adapt to new situations. When you trust in your abilities and stay focused on your end goal, Overcoming obstacles becomes a matter of course rather than a major roadblock. This shift in perspective makes the journey to success feel lighter and more manageable. Part of this process involves letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism can be one of the biggest roadblocks to success. It often leads to paralysis, where you're so focused on getting everything just right that you never actually get anything done. Perfectionism can make even simple tasks feel insurmountable, as you put unnecessary pressure on yourself to be flawless. But success doesn't require perfection, it requires progress. By letting go of the need to do everything perfectly, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and allow yourself to take consistent action. Over time, these small actions add up to big results, and success feels far more attainable and less overwhelming. Another critical factor in making success feel easy is creating systems and routines that support your goals. When you have systems in place, things run smoothly without requiring constant effort. Successful people don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on habits that support their success. These habits become second nature, and when you make them part of your daily routine, success follows naturally. Systems allow you to get more done in less time and reduce the mental load that comes with trying to figure everything out on the fly. By creating a structure that works for you, you eliminate decision fatigue and increase your chances of success. It's important to be patient with yourself. Making success feel easy isn't about rushing the process or expecting instant results. It's about trusting in the process and understanding that success takes time. When you focus on consistent, intentional action, the results will come. But you must be willing to put in the work without forcing it. Allow yourself to enjoy the journey, celebrate small victories, and recognize that success is not a destination, but a continuous process of growth and improvement. Success can feel effortless when you're aligned with your inner genius. By simplifying your approach, focusing on your strengths, and eliminating distractions, you free yourself from unnecessary effort. When you cultivate the right mindset, embrace passion, and delegate tasks that don't require your unique skills, success becomes a natural byproduct of your efforts. With each step you take, the process becomes smoother and more enjoyable. The key to making success feel easy is recognizing that it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, trusting yourself, and allowing the journey to unfold in a way that feels authentic and effortless. Chapter 14. The Power of Focus and Energy Alignment. Success isn't just about working hard, staying disciplined and pushing through. It's also about the energy you put into everything you do. The way you use your energy has a direct impact on how successful and fulfilled you feel. This isn't just about physical energy, but mental, emotional, and even spiritual energy. When these different aspects of your energy are aligned, success comes much more naturally. It's not a matter of forcing things to happen. It's about directing your energy in a way that supports your goals and keeps you moving forward without burning out. One of the most important things to understand is that focus is where energy flows. The more focused you are, the more you can align your energy with your purpose. Think of focus as the tool that helps you direct all of your energy toward the most important tasks. When you're clear on what you want, your energy starts to follow. It's like having a spotlight that shines on what matters most. You stop wasting time and energy on things that don't contribute to your success, and you channel everything into your core mission. In order to focus effectively, you need to be selective about where you place your attention. The world is filled with distractions, and it's easy to get caught up in every new shiny thing that comes your way. But if you allow yourself to be pulled in too many directions, your energy becomes scattered, and you dilute your ability to succeed. Instead of jumping from one thing to the next, take a step back and decide where your energy will make the most impact. This doesn't mean ignoring other aspects of your life, but rather focusing on your goals in a way that feels sustainable. Once you decide where to direct your attention, You can devote your energy to those tasks with intention and clarity. When you align your energy with your goals, you start to experience a sense of flow. Flow happens when everything you're doing feels effortless and time seems to slip by without you even noticing. This is where success starts to feel natural. You're not forcing things, and you're not stressing about the outcome. You're completely engaged in what you're doing, and as a result, things fall into place with ease. The more you experience flow, the more you realize that success isn't something you chase or force, it's something that happens when you align your energy with the right things. Energy alignment also means taking care of your body. When you feel good physically, your mind is clearer, your emotions are more stable, and you're more capable of focusing on your goals. It's hard to be productive when you're tired, run down, or feeling out of balance. That's why taking care of your body is one of the most important things you can do to align your energy with success. Eating well, getting regular exercise, and making sure you're getting enough rest are all fundamental to maintaining a high level of energy. When you feel strong and healthy, you're able to put more into everything you do, and success becomes an outcome of your consistent energy. On top of that, emotional energy plays a huge role in your success. The way you feel about yourself and your work impacts how much energy you're willing to put into it. Negative emotions such as fear, anxiety, and self-doubt drain your energy and leave you feeling stuck. Positive emotions, on the other hand, such as passion, enthusiasm, and confidence, energize you and propel you forward. The key is to manage your emotional state so that it supports your efforts rather than hinders them. It's not about avoiding difficult emotions, but about understanding how to shift your mindset when needed. When you focus on the positive aspects of your situation, when you choose to see opportunities rather than obstacles, your emotional energy becomes a powerful tool for success. The emotional energy you put into your work also affects the people around you. If you are focused, positive, and passionate about what you do, that energy will transfer to others. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate positive energy, and this can lead to powerful collaborations, networking opportunities, and support that helps propel you toward your goals. The energy you project creates a ripple effect. It's not just about how you feel, but about how your energy influences the environment around you. This makes energy alignment even more important, because when you're in alignment with your goals, you also start to attract the right people and circumstances into your life. Another key part of energy alignment is managing your mental energy. Your mind can be a powerful ally or a formidable enemy. When you focus on negative thoughts, doubts, or worries, you waste your mental energy on things that don't matter. But when you train your mind to focus on solutions, possibilities, and positive outcomes, you align your energy with your goals. Mental energy is also about managing your thoughts throughout the day. The more you practice redirecting negative thoughts and replacing them with positive, empowering ones, the more energy you have to devote to your goals. It's also essential to listen to your intuition and trust your instincts. Intuition is a powerful tool that comes from a deep place of alignment. When you're in tune with your inner self, your instincts guide you toward the right decisions and actions. Often, success doesn't come from following a rigid plan, but from listening to your gut and responding to opportunities that feel right. When you trust your intuition, you begin to make choices that align with your true purpose, and this sense of alignment brings a sense of ease and confidence to the process. You stop second-guessing yourself and start moving forward with clarity. At the same time, it's important to acknowledge that energy alignment isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. Just like your focus can shift throughout the day, so can your energy. You may wake up feeling energized and ready to take on the world, only to find that by mid-afternoon, your energy has started to dip. The key is to recognize when your energy is out of alignment and make adjustments. This could mean taking a break, reevaluating your goals, or shifting your mindset. It's about staying attuned to your energy and being proactive in making sure it stays aligned with your highest purpose. Taking breaks is also part of managing your energy. It might sound counterintuitive, but working non-stop doesn't lead to more productivity, it leads to burnout. Your energy needs to be replenished regularly so that you can maintain a high level of performance. This doesn't mean taking long vacations every day, but it does mean allowing yourself moments to recharge. Even small breaks throughout the day can have a big impact on your overall energy. Use these breaks to clear your mind, move your body, or simply rest. When you return to your tasks, you'll find that your energy is renewed and you can approach your work with greater clarity and focus. In order to keep your energy aligned with success, it's also important to stay connected to your purpose. When you lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing, your energy starts to fade. Purpose is what fuels your passion and keeps you moving forward. When you're connected to a larger mission, success doesn't feel like an isolated goal, it feels like part of something bigger. This connection to purpose helps maintain your energy levels, even when things get difficult. It gives you the strength to keep going, even when challenges arise. Alignment is about finding balance in your mind, body, and spirit. When these three areas are in harmony, your energy naturally follows. Success doesn't feel like a struggle. It feels like a natural outcome of living in alignment with your true purpose. When you focus your energy, manage your emotions, take care of your body, and trust your instincts, success becomes not just a destination but a way of life. Chapter 15. Creating a life that matches your genius. Living a life that truly reflects your inner genius is about more than just achieving success. It's about creating a lifestyle that aligns with your values, passions, and purpose. It's about making choices that are in harmony with your true self, so you wake up each day feeling fulfilled and motivated. When you live this way, everything you do feels easier, more meaningful, and naturally leads you towards success. The first step in creating a life that matches your genius is to get clear on what you truly want. This requires understanding what matters most to you, what drives you, what excites you, and what brings you joy. Often, we get so caught up in the hustle of everyday life that we forget to check in with ourselves. We chase after goals because they seem like the right thing to do, or because others expect them of us, but we forget to ask if they actually align with who we are. To create a life that matches your genius, you need to be honest with yourself about what you want and what feels right for you. This clarity allows you to make better decisions. When you know what you want, every decision becomes easier. Whether it's about your career, relationships, or personal development, you can measure your choices against your purpose. Does this decision bring me closer to my goals? Does it align with my values? When you have a clear vision of what you want your life to look like, you can evaluate every situation based on whether it supports your ultimate vision or not. Living a life that reflects your genius also means being true to your strengths. Everyone has unique talents and abilities that set them apart. When you focus on developing and using these strengths, you operate from a place of ease. Tasks that once seemed difficult or overwhelming become manageable when you tap into what comes naturally to you. This isn't about trying to fit into someone else's mold or doing what others think you should do. It's about embracing who you are and leveraging your abilities to make a positive impact. The more you embrace your strengths, the more your life will align with your genius, and the more success will flow from it. In order to align your life with your genius, it's also important to create the right environment. Your environment has a huge impact on your mindset, energy, and overall success. If you're surrounded by negativity, clutter, or distractions, it can be hard to stay focused and motivated. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people, places, and things that support your vision, you create a space that fosters growth and creativity. This means choosing the right relationships, creating a physical space that promotes productivity and positivity, and engaging in activities that fuel your passion and purpose. Your environment should be a reflection of the life you want to create, so take the time to curate a space that aligns with your genius. Living in alignment with your genius also requires a strong sense of self-belief. You need to trust that you have everything you need to create the life you want. Self-doubt and fear can hold you back, but when you believe in yourself and your abilities, you tap into an inner power that propels you forward. Trusting yourself means taking risks, making bold decisions, and stepping outside your comfort zone. It's about having the courage to take action even when things aren't perfect. When you believe in your potential, you naturally take the steps that will bring you closer to your goals. But self-belief isn't just about confidence, it's also about resilience. Life will throw challenges your way, and it's inevitable that you'll face setbacks along the way. When you encounter obstacles, it's easy to get discouraged, but if you have a strong sense of self-belief, you will bounce back. Resilience is about being able to handle the tough times without losing sight of your ultimate vision. It's about picking yourself up, learning from your mistakes, and using them as stepping stones to move forward. The more resilient you are, the more you can navigate the ups and downs of life with grace and determination. Another essential part of living a life that matches your genius is the ability to let go of what no longer serves you. Over time, we collect things, physical possessions, relationships, habits that no longer align with who we are or where we want to go. Letting go can be difficult, but it's necessary if you want to create space for what truly matters. This could mean letting go of toxic relationships that drain your energy or eliminating habits that don't support your goals. It could even mean clearing out physical clutter that distracts you from your focus. When you release the things that no longer serve you, you make room for new opportunities, growth, and success. You free yourself to focus on what truly matters, and you allow your genius to flourish. At the same time, it's important to cultivate the right mindset. A positive, growth-oriented mindset allows you to see every situation as an opportunity to learn and grow. When you face challenges, you don't see them as roadblocks. Instead, you see them as stepping stones that will take you closer to your goal. The right mindset also helps you stay focused and persistent, even when things don't go as planned. When you approach life with a mindset of possibility, you open yourself up to new ideas and experiences. Your mindset shapes your reality, so make sure it's one that supports your vision for success. Living a life that matches your genius also means taking care of your well-being. Your physical, mental, and emotional health are the foundation for everything you do. When you feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally, you have the energy and clarity to pursue your goals with confidence. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential for maintaining the focus and drive needed to create the life you want. Whether it's getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, or taking time for relaxation, prioritize your well-being. When you feel your best, you perform at your best. The key to creating a life that matches your genius is consistency. Success doesn't come overnight, and it doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It comes from small, consistent actions that align with your purpose and strengths. Every day, make choices that bring you closer to your vision. Stay disciplined in your efforts, but also be flexible enough to adapt when necessary. Trust that the small steps you take each day are leading you toward the life you want. Over time, these consistent actions compound, and you'll find yourself living a life that reflects your genius, one that feels authentic, fulfilling, and aligned with your true purpose.